Go.
Yes, ma'am.
I'm gonna have to sit on the stage because now I gotta switch to that other slideshow after this
Okay.
one.
Okay.
So,
That's fine. I'll sit here.
so I already started it. Right now we're
Am I in the?
we're live right now.
Oh, we're live?
We're live.
So I'm in the shop right
You were. No, now you're not. You're not.
now? So
If you judge it by that step thing,
this right here?
yeah. If you go to the edge of that, okay, go back. Right there.
I'm out of the shop.
You're out of the shot there. In case you wanted to,
What time is it?
it is 10:55. Okay.
So-
Hey, Sarah, how you doing? Life is great, you know.
The fact that you're standing is.
Hello?
6.5.
Look at the top.
Seven.
No, the top.
Live.
Over. You looking
Seven.
at it.
All right, I'll come in.
Make your home here now. You know, the doors got up.
Okay.
4, 6. The two people all the way to the end.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it wasn't her choice, but it's the choice of the family.
Okay.
You don't know anything past five.
Remember, dark was big things, right?
I'm not, you're right. You never know.
Okay, all right, bye.
To predict
Hey, do you have a pen?
It's too
I do.
far from now.
Can I borrow it while I take notes? And then- No.
Appreciate the young man. You know,
Got you.
get that too often.
Hey, Jerry? So here's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna take pictures with my Nikon.
Okay.
And what I want you to do is just be here.
It is interesting to see everyone's choice
and
and
take
facial
pictures.
attire. You know, some people are straight medical, others are
And it's
straight black and white. I guess sometimes they are limited what you can wear in uniform.
It has to be a solid color. It was so funny, we were on a call, and,
The iPhone.
Colonel Vail had on
Yeah,
there.
I mean, look at that. It's like.
General Boyd said, yes.
Why?
I want all members, you wear solid colors,
Solid
they
colors?
should know this already.
Hey, FYI.
We want a video call.
FYI.
Didn't that on purpose then?
I'm just letting you know.
About the same.
That's good.
No, mine's better because it's actually, it's literally what you see. Look at the difference.
Katie says, hi, Colonel Z.
Hi, Miss Katie, how are you? How's life? Oh, you're texting.
Hi, Katie.
It's a little bit richer.
Yeah, could be.
They got a new house.
So, but if you do it with mine, then I
Yeah,
can take it
it's
home.
nice.
And then I can.
That's really, it's really, really cool. So she's gonna get married,
All right, now what are you doing?
I've unmuted.
So are we streaming now?
We are, yes, but you need to be more over this way. Right there, perfect.
All right, so do we have any idea how many people are on?
Let's see.
Hey, y'all, I'm just trying to figure out how many of y'all have joined us today. And Paco's gonna give me an idea of how many people are still joining.
27 watching is what I have.
Just 27.
That's what I have.
All right. So maybe give it a second or two.
We can give it a few minutes. Let me borrow my phone real quick. I'm gonna. What's that? I'm gonna call. Let's see if he can.
All right, we'll give it a minute or so just to see if there's any issues, and then we'll get started.
We're sending another email out.
Okay, no big deal. And you're gonna make this. I mean, it's just gonna be hung. You're gonna send the link out to everybody.
Correct. That's what we're doing right now. It's been sent before, but we're gonna send it again.
All right, so we'll get started about that.
Okay.
First thing we're doing is Lars and Jay, right? Yes, sir. Yeah. Lars and Jay are gonna speak.
So you got that.
I prefer Lars. Good. Okay.
A really long speech.
All right, so welcome everybody. So if you didn't know, today's July 2nd, so it's the second official Lars Zetterstrom Day. It's a year since we had a change of command, and we're kind of honored and privileged at this point in time to have an opportunity to bring both leaders from Galveston District in yet again to commemorate a special occasion as part of this town hall today, and that's the receipt of the Army Superior Unit Award. And we'll kind of talk about that at length. But with us today is Colonel Retired Lars Zetterstrom, Lieutenant Colonel Retired Jay Lukritz. So welcome. Just want to welcome y'all. The first thing we're going to do today is first just acknowledge kind of what's really transpired over the last year. I didn't really prepare much, but as you know, in the last year, it's been tremendously busy. Can you hear me? Just want to do a sound check.
Yeah.
Tremendously busy. So, right off the top of it, no other district really has seen what we've seen in terms of getting board chiefs reports across the finish line in time for Word of 2020. Between Jefferson County Ecosystem Restoration, Matagorda Ship Channel, the Colorado River, and Brazos River locks, and then of course the Houston Ship Channel. Big stuff. That's been accompanied, that really kind of demarks the last year of kind of a transition into a year of execution, which is kind of denoted with three significant project partnership agreements that we signed, moving projects into construction. And that includes, obviously, Sabine Pass to Galveston Bay, over $700 million project for Port Arthur. That's well into the construction phase. You guys know that. The PPA that we signed just last week for the Freeport Harbor deepening project, very significant that we were able to do that and get that PPA turned around within less than 3 months from a new start authorization. That's huge. And then, of course, the PPA that we signed right after the change of command about a year ago today with Sabine HS Navigation District for that $1.5 billion deepening project. All in all, it's a tremendous amount of work that's been going on. We didn't know, really what's been occupying a lot of the leadership time lately is getting us to construction on potentially upwards of another $4 billion worth of work. So we're real close in terms of getting to a design agreement with Orange County. That's a design agreement that allows us to ultimately design 30 plus miles of levee systems in Orange County. Real close, right, Byron? Byron's here with us. To get us that design agreement that will be awarding major task orders on our new SATOX in August and September. Proceed with design for Orange County once we have that design agreement in place. And then, believe it or not, those of you that are familiar with Velasco Drainage District in George Kidwell, we are just that close to getting a PPA signed with Velasco in Freeport for another $600 million project. So that's been a significant amount of activity. I can't say enough in terms of just how much I've learned in the last year part of what I learned over even just recently in terms of the last month, I was able to share with the chief of engineers at General Beck's. So just know, Colonel Promovo Beck took command last week in Dallas of the Southwestern Division, and today he was promoted to Brigadier General. So we now have new leadership at Dallas, Brigadier General Chris Beck. Great leader, and anyway, but while during that process, I went up to Dallas and had a chance to actually try and share the story of Galveston District in terms of coastal science and engineering expertise and excellence. It's lost on many because we're so busy. The simple notion that Galveston District really is the United States hub for coastal science and coastal engineering expertise for the United States, and that's not an overstatement. By all accounts, those that are involved in academia, those that are involved from the industrial side of the house, those that are all of our partners up and down the whole of the Texas Gulf Coast, recognize that Galveston District basically is established what Doc likes to call the coalition of the willing, and ultimately is bringing world-class talent into the district, which is just unheard of, the number of PhDs and experts that we have so that have been flooding here to join, be part of this team in terms of delivering these coastal science, coastal engineering projects. But we got that point across to the chief that what we're delivering really isn't just a levee system or raising a levee. It's an integrated system that's ultimately going to provide coastal resilience for the next 50 years. And it's using the most advanced technology in the world today to actually make the Texas coast as resilient as humanly possible and as scientifically mature, so that generations to come will benefit from the work that we're doing today. At the same time, the talent that we brought into the district has been able to advance the body of knowledge so far that we have been able to kind of revolutionize the way that we're going to deliver these things. We're able to put out some of this work out for task order, for example, on some of this work that we need designed, because we built this organic knowledge base within the district amongst our expertise and the coalition of willing, so that we're really the hub. So a hub that ultimately advances the body of knowledge one step at a time through contracting efforts and task orders, but it still comes back to the mothership in that regard. So getting that across to the chief was a big deal to us, and I just want to thank all of the Hurricane Design Branch, the H&H section, the whole design section in ENC for helping us put that kind of message together to start really advertising, letting the chief know what's going on within Galveston District. So if you didn't know, you've seen the videos that Public Affairs has put together. If you didn't know, Galveston District has changed. We're not an O&M district. Everybody knows that. We're not, while we have the best O&M program in the country by all means, we're not known as an O&M district anymore. In short order, we've become the most significant water resource development construction district for the Army Civil Works program. And that was accompanied last month when we briefed Al Lee. We gave Al Lee, the new director of Civil Works, a virtual tour of the Galveston district. And he recognizes the new role that we have in the portfolio that is the Army Civil Works program. And as a result, if you didn't know, this year, basically, we're going to deliver at least $500 million of projects. And over the next 10 years, that's going to peak, right? So that we're delivering upwards of $800 to $1 billion worth of projects in any one given year. And that's not a one-time surge because we have a supplemental program. That's really a demonstration that while we do have a supplemental program, our regular program has doubled. And what I mean by our regular program is that our 28 ports in Texas and our 2 ports in Louisiana ultimately recognize us, in addition to all of the flood control districts and the other relationships that we have, recognize us as a major player in the water resource development game. And by and large, Congress and the state of Texas have started to recognize that we're a coastal state, and that ultimately the water resources that have the potential for development along the Texas coast have the potential for basically, before COVID, it was about really economic growth for the nation. But now, throughout COVID, it's going to be about economic recovery for the nation. It's going to come first and foremost with water resource development along the Texas coast. And we have that new identity, and we actually have that new responsibility. I kind of consider it more of a responsibility as much as it is an opportunity to really kind of bring this nation back after the COVID situation in terms of water resource development. And that comes part and parcel with, the work's going to come as we continue to deliver. That's why it's not a one-time peak. Really, it's a plateau where people are already knocking on our doors asking us to help in water resource development up and down the coast. So that's a pretty big and significant kind of cultural recognition of our culture. The culture has kind of shifted, and the maturity of the district has kind of gravitated to being a major player in that game. So given that, if you didn't know, because it is COVID, it started about probably 2.5 years ago, but really up until today, we probably added over 100 new faces to the district. So about 25% of the district right now probably has less than 5 years within the Galveston district. And that's pretty significant. So that's also a marker, a leading indicator of kind of the cultural revolution occurring within this district. Not only is it, new faces, but it's also world-class talent that's coming in. We're attracting the best and the brightest with some of the most significant backgrounds, experience sets to bring to bear as we really become that coastal hub for engineering expertise, coastal engineering and science expertise. Kind of talked specifically about all that. I guess what I want to talk to you just is, to some extent, COVID and change, just real briefly up front. At the end, I'll talk specifically about some COVID slides. So first, let me talk just about change. So it kind of starts at the top, obviously, right? So, Lars and I pride ourselves in terms of the continuity of command. If you didn't know, beyond Colonel Zetterstrom, I also maintain active relationships, going back to Colonel Potts, Colonel Solis, Colonel Weston. They all come into the office. We all maintain a continuity of command because really, it's not really about whoever's in charge at any one point in time. It's about the district and the district mission and the continuity of service that the district provides for the nation. So having an opportunity to bring in colonels is great. They help inform and educate me in terms of, there are new problems under the sun. Everything smells like something that they've touched on in the past. So they're extremely, kind of parade of graybeards, if you will, in terms of advisors. But we do have significant change in the executive office. So even though Colonel Vail left last week to go take command of the 19th Engineer Battalion, and we wished him a farewell as he goes on for that great mission set, commanding one of the largest engineer battalions in the active duty force. That's pretty significant. So Major Ian O'Sullivan's coming down from Alaska to take over the reins as the military deputy. So that change is coming up in the next few weeks. That's good. If you didn't know, so Major O'Sullivan previously served as the executive officer for Major General Jackson when he was the deputy commanding general for Civil Works. So he's bringing an extensive amount of Civil Works experience down in the position of deputy, which just reinforces Ali's commitment and recognition that the district is a major water resource development district and a major component of the Civil Works program. So bringing in a deputy with extensive Civil Works experience is just another marker of that. We got a new XO, new executive officer / chief of staff, Eric Short, that we brought on board recently, and you guys probably, everybody already knows him, and as he's been serving in the capacity of both executive officer and chief of staff recently. I'm going to ignore the fact that we have a new XA coming on board because apparently being my XA is a good opportunity for promotion into the real estate spectrum. So we wish farewell to Kareem as she heads off to real estate, and then we try and backfill her. We do have a new strategic planner coming into the executive office. So I want to welcome Susan Mabry coming into the executive office. And the role of the strategic planner, that goes part and parcel to what I was saying in terms of the direction of the district. When you're a major water resource development district, you've got to have someone who organizes your partnerships, your relationships, and facilitates the growth and the development of those water resource development opportunities. And that's really the role of Susan Mabry as she comes in, and she's already started, I think. Is that right? Teleworking. And then we found the right person at the right time for Susan's strategic outreach coordinator. So working with Susan will be Ron Wooten now going forward. So that's great. Another new initiative that we have a senior captain coming in who's going to serve as the mission support officer for the districts, kind of like a level below the deputy, but supporting the whole of the district. We're going to put a senior captain as the mission support officer who will ultimately try to synchronize all the administration and logistics of the growing and changing district, whether it be logistics, admin, personnel, awards, so on and so forth. We're going to put a mission support officer for those of you that have served in uniform. It's kind of like the pseudo S1, S4, S6 all packaged together. So the deputy can free up some of his time and be more of a deputy commander and face of the command, and not just an iron major in many respects. So that's kind of, again, maturing the district in that respect. So there's just so much change going on. So I can't not recognize that Teresa King's the new project, stood up the new PMO for Sabine Pass to Galveston Bay. So Teresa is officially the PMO. We're still building out her capacity. That's of significance. Can't not recognize that we're creating underneath Nick Liskowski the Project Control Office, ultimately, which is designed to deliver sophisticated construction analytics so that the board of directors can make strategic decisions on the priorities that we have going forward. Can't not recognize contracting, the structural change in the growth in contracting, the recognition between contracting and the district that we have a lot of work to do over the next 10 to 15 years, and it's not going to let off. So Jeff Neal has just done a tremendous job of finding the right way to organize going forward. We got new positions of leadership coming into RM. We've got just so much stuff going on in terms of organizational structure, right? So we got new offices going on the engineering and construction that I think we're supposed to sign off on today. We've got new print focus for Corpus Christi, right? So we're supporting Corpus Christi's office situation with our division's #1 priority request for print. So that's good going forward. And then by all means, when you think of process and maturity and change, you can't not recognize what a lot of the district continues to do on its own without necessary guidance, but just staying ahead of the wave in many respects. And that goes somewhat into what I was saying about us being a world-class hub of coastal science expertise and engineering expertise. I can't say enough about when I say our priorities have always been to mature our relationships and sophisticated communications. You know, what I talked about in terms of CSAC, Coastal Science Engineering, Engineering Collaborative, that is the very definition of maturity in your relationships that ultimately lead to the work that we needed to deliver along the Texas coast. But that's been coupled with advancing the core of what we were traditionally known as in terms of operations and maintenance. The cartography team and the leadership within operations division has rolled out the most sophisticated, I would consider it world-class, means of communicating where we are on any day of the week or any hour of the day when it comes to what's going on with operations and maintenance through their publicly available operations dashboard. Any point in time, you can click on whatever dredge is out there on the water. You can see its contract performance data. You can see how much dirt it's moving, when it's supposed to be done moving, ultimately what draft restrictions are out there. And that's all been propagated and facilitated by our operations division based on their own initiatives, not necessarily any dictum from command. And then what they've rolled out in terms of how they communicate their story with the use of ArcGIS and story maps has just been truly revolutionary. I just want to at least give them a shout out for that. So I think that kind of brings me up to COVID. So I got my mask hanging on for me, and I'm ready to put it on as soon as someone enters into my personal 6-foot space. And I don't say that lightly, right? I don't say that lightly. I'm going to get to COVID in some slides that the USACE Command Surgeon put together that all of you have already got. But I just want to kind of touch on some key points about COVID. So up front, before we get started today, I just want to hit 3 simple points. And maybe they're not simple. Nothing I ever say is too simple. But the first thing, Alicia and I have kind of been talking about this every day. Every day that COVID for the last 3 months. Listen, and I mean this with complete and total transparency and sincerity. If you have any significant concerns about your health, the hell to your loved ones at home, whether it be your Meemaw, whether it be your wife, whether it be a child at home that you just, it's keeping you up at night, it's creating stress in your life, or you're concerned about your coworkers. Our goal is to provide you the maximum accommodation, continue to work, but with as little risk as possible to those concerns that are keeping you up at night when it comes to COVID. That's our commitment to you. And we'll honor that commitment. The name of the game is maximum accommodation. I just ask you, just communicate with your chain of command so that we can understand the situation and we can take the appropriate steps to ameliorate the concerns and mitigate those concerns if possible. At no point in time should we have a town hall and you feel like you're obligated to come into a town hall if those type of concerns are keeping you up at night. With that said, we still maintain our current posture where we're limiting and controlling the occupancy of our federal facilities, part and parcel so that we can do the contact tracing in the event someone does come down with something, but also to make sure that we limit the amount of people we have in any facility so that we can practice appropriate mitigation. If you get too many people in the Javelin building, then you got too many people who violate 6-foot separation without wearing a mask. You get somebody accidentally on an elevator, so on and so forth, that wasn't planned for, and contact just spreads. So that's really what we're about. The second thing is, if you do get COVID, and look, a lot of us are going to get COVID. But if you do get COVID, the board of directors made a decision yesterday that I support, which is we're going to ask you to get a doctor's note to come back into a federal facility. So if you do get COVID, I want y'all to go get tested. And don't freak out about it, but we're just going to ask you to have a doctor's note to clear you back to come back into the building. That's just the most simple way I can explain that. And then the third kind of point is, look, it's easy to get sucked into all this. Just know, throughout all this, we got this. We got this. In terms of what we've been able to accomplish in the last 3 months, so we've demonstrated the ability to both focus on our mission and focus on our people. Mission first, people always isn't a set of mutually exclusive priorities. We got this in terms of being able to handle the mission and preserve our greatest asset, which is our people. And with that, let's go ahead and start the official portion of the town.
The first part is the presentation of the Superior Unit Award.
So at this time, I'm going to ask Lars and Jay to come on up here. So just real briefly, the Superior Unit Award is a decoration of the United States Army, which is awarded in peacetime to any unit of the Army which displays outstanding meritorious performance of a difficult and challenging mission carried out under extraordinary circumstances. The Army Superior Unit Award was created in 1985. So just very briefly, I asked Colonel Zetterstrom and Colonel Lubritz to really lead this portion of the town hall, just because of the significance that was Hurricane Harvey in the series of storms during that entire year. And then really just to recognize that it was their leadership with the Galveston district that really made a difference for the whole of the people of the country. I was in Rhode Island, and you guys know my family was knee deep. My whole family was impacted by Hurricane Harvey. And just knowing that these two gentlemen were at the helm of the Galveston district was a great comfort to me, and I think to the American people at writ large. And then I'd offer up that the Superior Unit Award ultimately is denoted by a battle streamer. So this is an official United States Army battle streamer. It comes down and is approved through the Army History Office, Army Lineage. So Galveston District, through this battle streamer, is recognized in the official annals history of the United States Army for its performance, specifically during the events of Hurricane Harvey. And battle streamers are ultimately hung on the colors of the command. And for the first time in history, the Army Corps of Engineers or the Army has approved official colors for the Galveston District as a full brigade level command of the United States Army. We'll be unfurling those new battle colors. So it won't just be a Corps flag in the future, but new official battle colors for the Galveston district, recognized by the Army as a legitimate brigade level command, and this being its first battle streamer, which is a consequence. So I hand this over to Colonel Z, and Captain Diaz will present the colors for hanging. And then I'd just like to read the actual citation. This one specifically for Colonel Zetterstrom, the position of commander. By direction of the Secretary of the Army Superior Unit Award is awarded to the Galveston District Southwestern Division, U.S. Army Corps of Engineers, and Colonel Retired Lars Zetterstrom for exceptional meritorious conduct in the performance of outstanding service. During the period of 4 April 2016 to 31 December 2017, the Galveston District Southwestern Division, U.S. Army Corps of Engineers, demonstrated meritorious performance and execution of duties during disasters of national significance. The district responded to 6 national disasters, working in response to natural disasters, coupled with the fact that the district itself was adversely affected by Hurricane Harvey, and was truly admirable. The Galveston District, Southwestern Division, U.S. Army Corps of Engineers' outstanding performance of duties in keeping with the finest of traditions of military service reflects distinct credit upon itself, the United States Army Corps of Engineers, and the United States Army. So, I just want to recognize Colonel Z with that, and Colonel Zuckers as well. And then
well, thank you very much, Colonel Vail. I'm truly honored that you invited myself and Jay to return to the Chapter building and participate in this award ceremony as we place the Army Superior Unit Battle Streamer upon our engineer colors for the Galveston District. It's wonderful to be back. I only wish that I could see more of my comrades that I served with faithfully for the past 3 years in person. But for all of you, those that are participating in this town hall virtually from the comforts of your home or work from anywhere, I hope everyone's doing well, and I look forward to seeing all of you in the future. It was great to listen to the update, strategic context that Colonel Vail has provided this town hall meeting about all the great accomplishments that you have made in the past year. I have to admit that I have been watching the district and all of your accomplishments over the last year, and I'm very proud of this district and very proud of all of you and the things that you achieved. Almost 3 years ago, the Hurricane Harvey devastated this region and has forever changed the Galveston district. Fortunately, prior to Hurricane Harvey, this district started setting the conditions for our success during Hurricane Harvey, and as demonstrated by receiving this Superior Unit Award. I do not think that we would have performed as admirably as we did with all the initiatives and all the resiliency of all of you that endured Hurricane Harvey. And frankly, we're also living with the after effects of Harvey. The streamer says 2016 to 17, but as you heard Colonel Vail say, that really, we should have a question mark on the end of that streamer, because until we deliver all the projects that were funded as part of the Bipartisan Budget Act, we haven't truly finished all the recovery from Hurricane Harvey. And as he alluded to, Harvey was a seminal moment for this district. You all are now, and I say you, unfortunately, have struggled with using the pronouns of we. You know, in my civilian jobs, I most of the time still think of myself as part of the Army Corps of Engineers, and part of me always will be. And who knows, maybe someday in the future I will join your ranks again. But your district is forever changed. You are now the premier civil works district in the United States Army Corps of Engineers. And well after completing all of the Bipartisan Budget Act projects, the studies that Colonel Vail mentioned, the chief signed and will hopefully be authorized in law, either in Word of 20 or Word of 2022, are going to basically control this district's future and your individual futures as long as you serve this district and our nation throughout your entire lifetime. So that's a huge moment. Now the other big moment that Colonel Vail talked about was COVID. I think that's another seminal moment. We will be forever changed as not just a nation, but as the human race across the entire world. And just like This district responded to Harvey and it's forever changed, I think for the better. As difficult as things might appear for some of us right now during COVID, I think that we will be forever changed. And with the efforts and the intelligence initiatives of all of you, I think we can be better as a district, as a nation, and as a world, as a society, if we put the right efforts into it. And so on that note, I just transition into the Independence Day holidays that are coming up. I'd like to wish all of you a happy 4th of July. Just like each of you are part of the success of this district, our nation, its success is partially your responsibility. And so please take that responsibility, not lightly, but think about how we can make our society a better place. Enjoy your weekend, but now being prudent over the 4th of July is no longer about not drinking and driving or potentially losing a thumb with some fireworks. It's about how that you interact socially with all your family, all of your friends, and not place each other at risk. And so, for my opinion, I would just ask that people not confuse or mask our selfish instincts under the banner of freedom. We, as members of society, have a responsibility to each other that outweighs each of us as an individual. And that's the contract that we make when we form a government and we form a society. For us to have the protections and to have our way of life, we have an individual responsibility within that society. And so I don't want to belabor that point or get too philosophical we are. It was an honor to be here today. It has been and always will be one of the greatest honors to have served in this district with all of you. And I wish you all the best for a happy 4th of July. I look forward to seeing you all in the future. Thank you. I exceeded Jay's time. He asked me to speak on his behalf. So.
Just want to thank both Jay and Lars. Clearly part of the Emeritus program. So your wisdom and your advice is always extreme value to all of us. So thanks for So next, 6 foot space.
Next, we're going to go into some recognition. Unfortunately, COVID has kept us from having group gatherings, but we decided we're going to figure this out. So we're going to go ahead and do an abundance of recognition going forward. That's well overdue. So with that, I think, Eric, you're up, right?
So the first one that we'll recognize is the Regulator of the Year Award.
Yeah, so just very briefly, so our Regulator of the Year not only was nominated and won the District Regulator of the Year, but got recognition from General Owen. Not only as the Division Regulator of the Year, but got General Owen's highest endorsement of any of the previous regulatory endorsements that he gave up to higher. And truly recognizes superior performance and contribution to our regulatory program. So, Catherine Mott is both our district and division regulator of the year. So, congratulations, Catherine, for a great accomplishment.
And her citation reads, she is eager to assist and has a can-do attitude. Ms. Mott is organized in her approach to her workload. In fact, during FY19, Ms. Mott finalized 113 regulatory actions. These included 41 jurisdictional determinations, 14 standard permits, 1 permit modification, 10 letters of permission, 4 general permits, 1,033 nationwide permit verifications, 8 pre-application meetings, and 1 compliance inspection.
So, Catherine, hopefully you'll see this, and congratulations. Congratulations to everybody that we're about to do. Going on.
Our next one will be the Supervisor of the Year.
All right, so Supervisor of the Year, while there's usually a great write-up in terms of what the criteria for Supervisor of the Year is, I'll kind of summarize it as such that the Supervisor of the Year really is one that gets identified for exercising superior influence, not within the chain of command, but within the chain of command, but even more importantly, external to the chain of command. They're a type of individual that can bring disparate teams together to ultimately deliver a mission, whether it be in design, whether it be in logistics, whether it be in construction, whether it be in project delivery. But I'm proud to recognize the Supervisor of the Year, who is Brandon. So Brandon Smolinski is recognized as our Supervisor of the Year, particularly in the tremendous work that he did
leading our mega project operation for Addicts and Barker in terms of new outlet structures. If you didn't know, we got first fill last week on both outlet structures, which is a big significant milestone. Tremendous capstone event really for Brandon and the whole of the team on that project. So congratulations, Brandon.
So, the award confers in recognition of his exceptional leadership and technical skills by serving as the resident engineer in the Houston resident office. Brandon was selected to lead this team, the Addicts and Barker Dam mega project. Headquarters USA has designated this project as a mega project because of its exceptional significance in the life and safety of over 1.2 million Houstonians who are protected by these two dams.
Cool. So next is employee, right?
Yes, sir.
All right, so employee of the year really is kind of the flip side to supervisor of the year. But we have an opportunity each year to recognize superior performance and contribution that includes outstanding collaboration as a member of the team. So really, that's what it comes down to in terms of making sure we recognize the best amongst us in terms of demonstration of teamwork. And that goes to Eddie Lippy, and the citation is?
Eddie joined the Galveston district and the Galveston resident office just before reporting period last year. He was thrown in headfirst as a project engineer and COR into active construction contracts upon arrival and has excelled. Eddie came to us from flood risk management in Fort Worth district with little knowledge of dredging, which encompasses most of our work in the Galveston district. This being said, he has been quick on his feet in administering contracts while also learning the basics of a new and unique aspect of the construction industry. Eddie is one of the most knowledgeable people in the GRO when it comes to construction design experience. He is a dedicated employee with an impeccable attention to detail and tremendous amount of real-world construction experience, which he puts into use and shares with others every day.
Cool. Next brings us to Engineer of the Year. We are an engineering organization, so let's recognize who we've identified specifically for meritorious contribution technically or professionally in engineering. Jansen Miller.
Jansen is our subject matter expert in the Galveston resident office. He is the person others turn to for technical advice, tough contract administration issues, and difficult situations with contractors. Jansen not only administers his own construction contracts effectively and efficiently, but also goes above and beyond to assist other engineers with lesser or differing experience on their contracts. To turn over in GRO, Jansen was the primary project engineer COR on 7 contracts last year, which is several more than any other project engineer should have to handle at one time. Even with this extreme workload, Jansen is instrumental in the training of new employees and has never hesitated to assist others.
Outstanding. And we can't be what we have become in terms of this major water resource development district without innovation. So the year 2020 is a particular note for who we've identified as the innovator year, which really is about recognizing significant contribution in terms of improving not only how we deliver as a district, but by and large the culture of the district in terms of this new identity. So let's recognize Bob Cook. Right? Pronounce it right? Bob Cook. I know it's Bob Cook because of the astronaut relationship. So congratulations to Bob. And this goes hand in glove with what I was talking about in terms of just the amazing modernization and revolutionary type of communication that operations has pushed out, built on the shoulders really of what Bob's accomplished in terms of ArcGIS and cartography. So go ahead.
During the past year, Bob Coogan has led his team of cartographers and engineering technicians to create the Galveston District Operations Dashboard. It was officially deployed in April of 2020. The Operations Dashboard is an online GIS-based database which is accessible to the public. The Operations Dashboard provides a tremendous amount of data which is critical to the successful execution and communication of the Galveston District's navigation mission. It includes an interactive map of Southwestern Division's Galveston's 1,000 plus miles of federal channels and waterways, information related to over 100 ongoing and upcoming SWG dredging and marine construction contracts, the location of dredging equipment working within the district, information on active channel draft restrictions, and the location of U.S. Coast Guard maintained ACE navigation. It also provides a platform for navigation stakeholders to access the Galveston District's hydrographic survey data by selecting various channel reaches.
Cool. So congratulations to Bob. Next, we're going to move on to
STEM volunteers, right?
Yes, sir.
So STEM volunteer, so again, you see all this is interrelated and nested, but this is an opportunity to recognize someone who's volunteered the time to promote the external image of the Corps of Engineers in fields of science, technology, engineering, and math. The recognition specifically for Tim White.
Mr. White has been actively involved in STEM activities with the School of Civil Engineering at Lamar University, where he most recently served as a judge of senior engineering design projects across the entire College of Engineering. Mr. White has served as a member of the Dean's Advisory Board at San Joaquinto College of Science, Technology, Engineering, and Math, STEM for curriculum development since 2010. His connections with students at Lamar and McNeese State Universities, as well as serving as the resident engineer in the Port Arthur resident office, shows leading by example in STEM and service to others. He has increased interest in young students for future careers with the Corps of Engineers and with the impending coastal storm risk management program at the Port Arthur resident office.
That's great. Congratulations, Tim. And continuing the trend of mature relationships, sophisticated communications, it's time to recognize a couple peer awards recognized by their peers. The first is for customer service. So recognizing superior performance in terms of representing the face of the Corps of Engineers, in terms of providing exceptional timeliness and exceptional communication. Recognized by their peers is Marie Patillo, the Marie Patillo Customer Service Award is presented to Joe Wiggins. On the same slide is the Teamwork Award, recognized specifically for superior contributions of an individual to the whole of the team, district, and division. It's Kelsey McCraw for the regulatory divisions. Congratulations, both of you. Thanks for being a tremendous member of the districts and member of your teams and representing us so well in leadership and followership. So,
At this time, we'd ask Ms. Alicia Ray to come on up to talk about the Commander's Cup results.
Howdy, everybody. We miss seeing everybody out there. So on behalf of the Recreation Committee, I wanted to start with, this is one of our first challenges that we did this year during COVID. So this was the best workspace that you had at home.
let's talk about real quick the wallpaper.
Yes, oh yes, you'll notice there.
It is tremendous.
I'm also excited to give a plug to the Colonel there. So our first place was actually on top there. That was Christy Flicker. So if y'all remember, that was our first challenge that we did. So during COVID, this has been very difficult for us. I know we're a very close district, even though we're, have a big AOR, we're still very close like family. So I think everybody's doing really good in the efforts to stay together, and the Recreation Committee really appreciates everybody's support when we try to keep us together. So Commander's Cup this year, it ended just about 2 weeks ago, and I think COVID actually helped everybody because I haven't seen points like these in years. In fact, PPMD, they were the winner this year. And they haven't won in some time, so good job PPMD for taking that back. I'm looking at Dr. Russo, he's sitting in here. So I'll take that trophy over to PPMD this afternoon. It's down in engineering now, so good job claiming that again. Our second place was construction, and then that was followed up by regulatory. So not bad at all. Again, look at these points y'all out there. Let's keep it up. We'll have some more challenges coming out there soon, as well as looking for new members for the Recreation Committee. So if you're interested, even in a COVID environment, we're trying to keep the spirits up. So if you're interested in joining the Recreation Committee, just send that email to the Recreation Committee's email address, and we'll be happy to look at those. Jay is pointing at Kareem, so I think we may have our new lead there, but we'll work on that later. So again, we miss seeing everybody's face. I hope everybody's doing good. And of course, if y'all need anything, just reach out to us and we'll make it happen for you.
Thank you, Alicia.
Yes, sir.
And it's just an opportunity to reinstill the point that we are a team even throughout COVID. And, we need to continue to do what we can to be present in each other's lives. We are a collection of selfless servants that have a significant set of responsibility on our shoulders selflessly to deliver for this nation. And we are better together in finding ways through the Rec Committee to continue to maintain a spirit of presence and collaboration and teamwork
is more important than ever. So I just want to thank particularly Alicia for really kind of being the nexus behind the continuity of that kind of mantra that we're better together kind of idea. So thank you, Alicia.
Yes, sir.
Next, we'll transition to service awards.
Okay, so, go ahead, I think next slide, right? All right, so honestly, I've got carpal tunnel syndrome. So I'm not sure how Eric's gonna distribute. We're probably gonna send these down to supervisors after mandatory waiting period, because I've touched on now. So we'll wait 72 hours before they come down to make sure they're sanitary. But we got all these signed, and it's, it's kind of a privilege just to recognize the self-service and the team of self-service that we have, just by recognizing the service awards that we have. So for 5 years, if I make a mistake on a name, it's not because I didn't try. I actually tried to rehearse these yesterday. So Louis Connolly, Brandon Crawford, Alvin Garcia, Michael Garski, Michael Gonzalez, Justin Hall, Aaron Hennow, Elton Huff, Bob Cook, Rafael Pineda, Michael Roberts, David Solomon, Maria Tobin, Matthew West, and of course Aaron Zetterstrom. Just congratulations for your 5-year service pin. So you get the pin and your formal recognition by a certificate coming down your way. So now crescendo, we're going to keep building up, right? Because it's more and more significant going forward. So 10 years. So 10-year recognition. Really, that major milestone. You're now part of you're part of the team. You're in full aspects. You can't blame anybody else. You've been here long enough. You're here for those decisions. So Siobhan Allen, Mario Benningfield, Yuri Chow, Gary Cowick, Steve Elder, Marcos Garcia, Michael Gilbert, Brianna Harris, Robert Latham, William Little, Corrado Amadio, Frederick McGee, Chris Mikowski, Stacy Nava, Lynn Wynn, Gary Reed, Thomas Richmond, Randall Shreve, David Thorne, Joe Bernier, Austin Wilburn, and Gloria West. Congratulations on your 10-year service. Crescendo moving forward, 15. 15. So Andrea Davis, Jesse DeShales, Hadley Cleve, Matt Leimer, Shooter Misra, James Nicholson, Byron Smith, Doyle Thorne, Mark Trickstad, Tiffany Weaver, and Andrew Wendell. Just congratulations to each of you. It's a significant milestone to hit 15. I have more significant is that big number 20. So let's recognize 20 years in terms of Bradley Croft, Thomas Dykeman, Pablo Hernandez, Douglas Landers, Tanya Lippy, Rodney Melrose, Matilda Montgomery, Carl Stedman, and Brian Williams. 20 years is a major accomplishment. So let's go ahead. For 20 years, let's just 20 years, 2 decades of service. Thank you. But not to be outdone, 25 years already with Wanda Hallman, Sherman Holman, Diana Jordan Burks, Joe McMahon, and Tracy Roadshow. So wow, major accomplishment in terms of 25 years. Not to be outdone, 30 years. Teresa King, Norman Rondow, Nelson Taylor, Melinda Vasquez, Figueroa, and Dale Williams. Congratulations, major, 3 decades. It's hard to get my head around 3 decades, just thank you. Going forward, 35 years. Janet Patello, Rose Caballero, Orlando Ramos Guines, Maria Rodriguez, Scott Tackett, and Enrique Villagomez. So congratulations, 35 years. Believe it or not, at 40 years, Michael Flynn, Michael Harris, Michael Hinton, Robert Richardson, Luis Rodriguez, and Sharon Turpak. 40 years of service to the federal government. A tremendous accomplishment. It just is a marker for all of us, whether we have 1 year, 5 year, 10 year, 15 years. These folks, more than most, demonstrate that it's really not about us. It's about the service that we provide to the nation. I just want to give my hats off to all of those that we recognize for their service to the nation, but in particular those at 40 years. Thank you. Next.
Sir, next we'll transition to the Civilian Service Combination Award. The citation for the award as follows. Employees who have established a pattern of excellence Normally recognized who the previous received one or more honorary or monetary performance awards may be considered for this award. Eligibility is determined by measuring contributions against the following levels of achievement: accomplished supervisory or non-supervisory duties in an outstanding manner, demonstrate initiative and skill in devising new or improved work methods and procedures, and conceiving inventions that result in considerable savings in manpower, time, space, materials, or other items of expense, or improve safety and health of the workforce. Demonstrate courage or competence in the emergency by performing assigned duties resulting in the benefit of the government and personnel. The first list of awardees have already received their awards, but we wanted to make sure they were publicly recognized.
Yeah, so the awards have already gone out, but do want to just recognize that Terry Carlson, Pablo Hernandez, Nicholas Perez, Adrian Ramos, and Ronald Rogers all have already received their award, but didn't have a chance to publicly recognize them in this venue, so just wanted to do that, at least for that. And then we've got a series of new awards to present as well.
Same award, but these are two new ones that have been submitted. So, Ms. Andrea Carazaro is awarded the Commander's Award for Civilian Service for her work as a project manager for the Houston Ship Channel Project. Ms. Carazaro did an excellent job guiding the project delivery teams through completion of $10 million of feasibility level study, resulting in a signed chief's report in April of 2020 and seamless continuation to the PED phase. Ms. Canazaro's contributions reflect great credit upon herself, the Galveston District, and the Army Corps of Engineers.
So if you've ever dealt with Houston, this thing should be kind of written in gold in terms of the value of this. Congratulations, Andrea.
Ms. Franchelle Neely is awarded the Commander's Award for Civilian Service for her work as a project manager for two feasibility studies, the GIWW Brazos River Floodgates, Colorado River Locks, and the Matagorda Ship Channel. Ms. Neely did an excellent job guiding the project delivery teams through completion of these important studies, resulting in a signed chief's report in November of 2019. Ms. Neely's contributions reflect great credit upon herself, the Galveston District, and the Army Corps of Engineers.
Congratulations, Franchelle, and congratulations on being a new mama. She did all of this while preparing for motherhood. Congratulations, Franchelle.
Next, we will do some certificates of achievement. These are based on some PDTs. The first one will be the Houston Ship Channel Expansion PDT.
So you have a
I guess we're at the first stack.
yeah. So these also will be coming down. Actual letters from actual groups. These will be coming down through your chain of command through distribution. We want to recognize the major milestone in terms of delivering the Houston Ship Channel feasibility study and ultimately the chief's report briefing that the chief readily signed in time for award of 2020. And the first time ever, as far as I know, and I don't say that lightly, that we got PED funding from Congress in advance of actually having the chief's report signed and an actual award authorization. That's just a testament to the amount of credibility that this PDT and this district established in this project to receive PED funding ahead of an actual award authorization. It also demonstrates that it's in the books, folks. We're going to be working hand in glove with Houston for the next 6 to 7 years delivering this project. So in terms of recognizing the PDT, the names are up here. I'm going to go ahead and read them all off because they all deserve their name to be read aloud. So Nancy Young, Al Meyer, Brad Boothby, Dale Williams, Kim Reynolds, Kerry Gaunt, Jacob Rowe, Tom White, Harmon Brown, Ken Pablo, John Campbell, Cheryl James, Walker Messer, David Clark, Trisha Campbell, Sarah DeSoto, Zach Rogers, and Loretta Budenhagen. Just congratulations. What you accomplished in terms of delivering that on time for award of 2020 is just a major milestone for this district and a major economic driver for the region. So just at least going forward, congratulations.
So the next one will be for the Brazos River Floodgate Colorado Locks PDT.
Yet another chief's report early on, or actually late last year, that came to fruition in terms of briefing out the chief and getting that passed. And again, yet another project that has been approved to move forward into PED, which is a significant. So the Assistant Secretary of the Army approved this to move forward into the next phase, which is PED. which gives us a leading indicator that it's got administration support to actually accomplish the replacement and modernization of those two components of the system. So Frank Shell, Cheryl James, Daniel Allen, Mark Peterson, David Lovett, John Pebham, Chad, Rachel, Max Agnew, Jeff Ritchie, Jason Regolia, Nicola Schlund, John Campbell, Stuart Norvell, Eric Russick, Robert George, James Allen, Justin Carlson, Beth Kay, Courtney Reed, Alex Ryan, Jeff Stamper, Thomas Justin, and Tracy Jensen. Congratulations. That is a major piece of infrastructure, and it's even more important that it's our infrastructure. In terms of us taking ownership along with our non-federal sponsor in terms of modernizing that infrastructure for a more efficient and reliable system going forward, it's just a major accomplishment. So we expect that, again, all indicators are that we're going to move forward into the construction phase of that in due course. Next.
Sir, the next one is the Medic Order Ship Channel PDT.
Again, another project already approved from the Assistant Secretary of the Army to move into PET. So that's great news as well. So all indicators are, if you see in the trend here, it's that the administration, the Office of Management and Budget, and the administration all the way up to the White House recognizes the value of the Texas coast and is giving its blessing to continue to develop this infrastructure for the Texas coast, not only prior to COVID as the major driver for economic growth, but now there's still that commitment, it's still resolute. As you see key members of the administration on TV talking about economic recovery largely starts here on the coast. So this is just great news in terms of the posture that we're going to have through these projects that was built on the shoulders of these project delivery teams to really drive economic recovery into the future coming out of COVID. So congratulations. Again, a lot of similar names, but Fran Shell, Kathy Skalbeck, Ted Nettles, Harmon Brown, Brenda Hayden, Dale Williams, Brandon Crawford, Tom White, Beyond Lim, Jason Regolia, Nicole Schlund, John Campbell, Jennifer Purcell, Lisa Maris, and Chris Mikowski. So congratulations again, major project delivery teams delivering major water resource development recommendations for the nation. Congrats.
Next, we have 2 certificates of appreciation for the Integrated Brazos Scoreboard Report.
Yeah, those are not. Okay, so just to prove to you that we got them here, that are coming down to you. So both to Tracy Jensen and Thomas Jester. We've got Department of the Army certificates of appreciation. You want me to read it? Or you got it? Okay.
For exceptional performance of duties and the dedicated time and effort spent developing the review of the Integrated Brazos Report and the management of the multidisciplinary review team, the attention to the review of this comprehensive report with detailed engineering appendix and the coordination with various departments contribute to the timely and successful completion of the DQC and one of the first termination reports of the Galveston District. Both Tracy and Thomas' contributions reflect great credit upon themselves, Galveston, and the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers.
So congratulations to both of you.
So next up will be a set of commander's coins.
Okay, so of course, commander's coins. I love to hand these out face to face, but COVID has us send these through the appropriate distribution channels. But just general recognition, of course, commander's coin, just outstanding contribution performance. Each one of these, for both specific and general contributions, is both good examples of both leadership and followership across the district. I don't think we'll get into the specifics of each based on time right now. But I do want to recognize Kelly in terms of our lead for Coastal Texas. Kelly Burks-Coates, Brad Daw, Deoncio Gonzalez, Kevin Manning, Fred McGee, Kelsey McGraw, Carlos Tate, Spencer Thigpen, Kara Vick, and Charles Wheeler, all recognized from the leadership of this district up to the command level for particular recognition of note with the commander's coins. Those will be coming your way. I just can't thank you enough for what you do every day. Thanks.
Sir, the last one is our action involving Pappy's Pride and Commander's Coins.
So again, commander's coins in recognition of just the, it's not often that we get brought into life safety / navigation issue outside of a hurricane, but we had a shrimp trawler basically that sunk several months ago. We had a very robust response coordinated out of operations, ultimately to reinstate navigation and to support the recovery of that vessel. And we want to recognize the team that came together in that kind of critical life safety / navigation in terms of this isn't.
Next one. That was just left. Happy Pride. There it is, 27. So it's obviously from operations, Tricia Campbell, Aaron Durba, Joe, Wes Rowland, Brian Wilson, Tim White, Joe Suddahl, Chris Mosley, Curtis Cole, Clark Partee, Eddie Libby, Timmy Walls, Jason Shreve, Bob Cook, Marcus Gruber, Paul Cox, and Mary Beth Parker. Just you were there at this, a critical time and place in terms of restoring navigation and ultimately recovering and clearing. It was a very dangerous and tricky situation with that sunken vessel. Congratulations. Thank you for what you do. Next.
Sir, the next is your COVID talk.
Okay, so again, you guys already have all these slides, so in the interest of time, I'm not going to dwell on it too much, but it is of general safety note. The message that I put out in terms of protecting our people is shared by General Beck, definitely shared by General Semnite. So if you go to your emails, you'll see these slides and you'll see the message from the chief himself. The chief's passionate about preserving the greatest engineering workforce, engineering organization in the world's workforce, now into the future. You guys know as well as I do, as Colonel Zetterstrom alluded to, it's a pretty special time, not only to be Galveston District in terms of the recognition that we're getting in terms of our significant contributions to the coast, but it's also a very special time to be part of the Corps of Engineers, led by General Semnite. If you didn't know, General Semnite's going to continue to be the chief until we see confirmation of the new chief of engineers. The president approved his waiver, so he's the longest serving general we have in the Army right now, and he's been approved by the president to continue to serve up until 120 days post confirmation of the new chief of engineers. So we anticipate we'll have General Semnite on board throughout the height of the COVID crisis. And General Semnite has done a lot in terms of fostering the credibility of the Corps of Engineers during COVID. And we've got to do our part for protecting and preserving our workforce and our posture, because we do have a very significant role to play when it comes to hurricane season too. So our goal was to maintain our posture to deliver during hurricane season. I do want to point out just key information that the command surgeon, General Semnite's command surgeon, has been briefing him on, just as takeaways that you guys can refer back to your email inboxes and look at these slides again. But clearly what's known out there right now is you can keep track in terms of where we are in terms of the history and the progression of this disease. Right now, you'll see different narratives that are out there. If you go to the next slide, I think we'll get to, yeah. If you look at the left hand of this slide, in terms of the United States represented by the orange line, it's what Rick Vera told me. So Rick Vera, if you didn't know, our EOC has been contributing directly to the briefing and the information and analysis that's gone directly to General Semnite every day. By doing some, basically taking all of the best models that are out there and geo-referencing them and giving them a GIS-based analytical tool for him to measure kind of like how the spread is really occurring. What we've seen, what Rick told me back in April, is that we're probably not going to peak along the Texas coast until the end of June. And regardless of the trends that we see in the United States, what we're really seeing right now is what Rick projected way back in April as the peak period for the COVID outbreak along the Texas coast. That's kind of what we're seeing right now. We now have 4 confirmed cases. I believe it's 4 confirmed cases within Galveston District, which mirrors kind of the peaking, right? We went 3 months without any COVID cases, and now we're at 4, all of which that have occurred within the last 10 days as we kind of reach this peak. What we need to do is just pay particular attention to how we're mitigating the situation right now, because it's the peak that we've always been worried about. It's the peak that creates basically intense resource demand on our healthcare infrastructure, our healthcare industry. And it's the peak that ultimately can cause a level of impact on our workforce as a whole, where we no longer have the right posture to deliver the service, particularly in hurricane season, that we need to prepare for. So right now, I just say right now is the right time to have maximum mitigation, maximum self-awareness, and being as prudent and cautious as possible as we're approaching that peak. What
you will see, if you go to the next slide, the big takeaways. Social distancing, 6 feet of separation, if not more, ideally more, in masks, work. All right? There's a whole bunch of politics going on out there. I'm just telling you, as a uniformed officer of the United States, social distancing and masks help prevent the rapid spread of the disease and keep our rate of spread factor closer to 1.0 and below, rather than 1.0 and higher. Anything above 1.0 and higher is what starts putting an increased demand and exponential rate of spread of the virus on our healthcare infrastructure. So don't make this a political gesture. Just put on your mask because you've got something bigger to fight for, and that's the coast of Texas. You've got a bigger responsibility than winning a political talking point with your neighbors. You have to be ready and prepared and postured to deliver what we're supposed to deliver in terms of our disaster response in the midst of hurricane season. And then we have the largest civil works mission for the nation to deliver. And it's not about politics, it's about appropriate mitigation. And if nothing else, you know, if you're a Girl Scout or a Boy Scout growing up, we were taught just about basic values and courtesy. And it's just courteous to wear a mask. If nothing else, just be a courteous member of society and put on a mask. So I'll just kind of emphasize that in that regard. Next. The real concern we have, obviously, is layering COVID on top of additional flu season. And the peak of flu season, in terms of October, peak of COVID, and then the peak of what typically are Cat 4s and 5s, all seem to have some sort of confluence around the September-October timeframe. That's why I think, you know, I trust our chain of command. I trust each individual of this district just to talk to their chain of command, to their leaders, and for leaders to listen, and for us just to make sure we're making the maximum accommodation, maximum mitigation as appropriate, with an eye still to what our real responsibilities are going forward. So, anyway, next slide. So again, this kind of just talks about what it's almost at this point trying to dispel the politics of the situation and reiterating the fact that social distancing, just by pure physical distance works, face masks work, in the right situation, eye protection works. And then what we've done a good job, and I give Alicia Ray all the credit in the world, is to have what I consider non-invasive type protocols for our workforce that allow us to do contact tracing probably better than any other agency in the federal government. But when we have someone in contact has some sort of contact with COVID, Alicia is able, based on simple protocols that she has in place, in terms of knowing who's where and when on any given day, to immediately progress with contact tracing and informing us being able to mitigate when we do have a positive test result. So that's why we have strict controls in terms of who's coming in and out of the building, each one of our facilities. But today, on the 4 cases that we have had, Alicia has very rapidly been able to reach out and talk to all that are potentially exposed. If you're not getting called by Alicia or your chain of command, then you're not part of the long line of contact that she's established for those cases. So you're generally clear. So what that tells you is you shouldn't be needlessly worrying too much about exposure unless you get contacted by your chain of command or Alicia in terms of exposure as a result of conduct in and around the workplace. Anything to add there, Alicia? Is that about right on?
Right on.
All right, so Alicia says right on. So just trust Alicia's protocols in terms of contact tracing, and hopefully you guys will trust and support our decision not to bring anybody back to a federal facility without a clearance from a doctor. So that's kind of our way going forward. I think that's probably about the end of it. That's about the end of what I wanted to get to in COVID. I do want to talk about the holidays. It's tough in terms of, I know Galveston shut down its beaches. All that means is wherever you do find to celebrate the holidays, it's probably going to have 10,000 more people there than usual. So any outdoor activities, barbecue type things that you're doing beyond your backyard are probably going to be hyper dense. because they are trying to limit access to so many of the traditional places. So Galveston Beach is shut down. I just got a call. Looks like Bolivar was like, oh my God, we're gonna have 150,000 people in the Bolivar pocket. That would be kind of scary from just a healthcare, not just COVID, but law enforcement in terms of traffic, so on and so forth. So just be cautious and prudent. Just do an appropriate reconnaissance of the type of activities you want to participate in, and don't put yourself in a situation where you're not going to be able to practice social distancing in that regard. That's all I'd ask of you in that regard. If you are kind of out on your own, like if you're like me and you plan to see if you can take a wave runner 8 miles offshore, it's not always a good idea. Watch the weather. It's Texas. Watch the weather. And always wear your life jackets, of course, and just look out for each other. And part of looking out for each other right now, I'll go back to the first thing I said about COVID, is if there's somebody that you're used to talking to on a Thursday at 12:15 in the afternoon, and you haven't talked to them for 2 weeks, just go ahead and pick up a phone and call them. Just be present in each other's lives and continue to call each other, talk to each other, and be there for each other. It's not lost on me how challenging COVID is on some of us. There's some of you that are just dealing with enormous strains personally, enormous strains professionally. Even I got a note that basically my landlord is basically sunk, and I'm probably gonna have to move in a week or two or something like that, because they're getting foreclosed on. So that's happening not just to me; it's happening to all of y'all. Whether it's your mother, your meemaw, your a significant child with exceptional needs that's just keeping you up at night because you're scared to death. It's not lost on you. And it shouldn't be lost on your teammates. Be there for each other. If you're used to talking to somebody, if you're used to being a sounding board, just pick up the phone and call them and be present in each other's lives. Yes. Thanks for participating in this town hall. Again, gracious thanks to Jay and Lawrence for coming out today. It is a very significant milestone to get an official Army streamer. And look forward to having you guys back as we unfurl the colors and maybe get you a set of mini colors for that event. So thank y'all. That concludes.